Sports City, chef, Sports City, chef, yeah, Cabby, Taj.
What's going on, Sports City? It's your boy Sirius back with another edition of Finger Foods, an exclusive here on Sports City Chefs, the network, and SportsCityChefs.com. As I customly say before we get started, if you're not currently a subscriber, I would definitely urge you guys to become a subscriber. Hit that post notification and that bell right here on YouTube and get notified every time we post. We are also on a plethora of different platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So if you enjoy the content that we bring to you on a regular basis on the radio, I would definitely urge you guys to become a follower and interact with us on social media. As I always say before we get started, these thoughts and these feelings are those of my own and do not represent the New England Patriots, the Pittsburgh Steelers, or Sports City Chefs as a company. I shoot from the hip, I pull no punches, and I definitely spare no feelings. I wanted to talk a little bit about what took place at the stadium on Sunday as the Pittsburgh Steelers fell to the New England Patriots. And for me, it's a little bit disheartening. And the reason why it's a little bit disheartening is because that was a game that we could have won. It wasn't like the New England Patriots beat us up and took our lunch money. It wasn't like we were outclassed, outmatched, outpunched, if you will. I just honestly believe that we shot ourselves in the foot on a ton of different fronts. But before I even get into all of that, as I said last week, I wanted to, compartmentalize my thoughts and centralize where I wanted to go. So I did want to start off by talking about the good that I saw on Sunday. And again, that really starts with my defense. When you literally hold an opponent the way they did, you're expected to win these ball games. They really got after it a little bit. They gave up some yards, but there was a bend but don't break situation. The one touchdown, actually 14 points, came on a muff punt and a go ball that Aguilar just made a great play on. You take those away from the New England Patriots and they score 7 points. So, again, I tip my cap to my defense. I really do hope that they are able to kind of ride this wave and kind of keep us afloat until the offense figures itself out and figures out what it wants to do. The bad and the ugly for me, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be one and the same. Because I think as a collective, offensively, we were below the line. Offensive line was below the line. We lost a turnover battle below the line. I felt as though we got out-coached. Mike Tomlin, Brian Flores, Matt Canada, below the line. Here's my point. We have the ability, skill position-wise, if you will, to bang with the best of them. You have Deontay Johnson, who is a top 25 receiver. You have, Freiermuth, who's a top 10 tight end. You have Najee Harris, who is a top 10, ball carrier. You have Chase Claypool, who's 6'4", 2 and some change, who can jump out of stadiums. You bring in a George Pickens who kind of mirrors the body type and the skill set of a Chase Claypool, and yet there were no balls, no passes thrown in the middle of the field. And if you sit down and you ask these receivers what was going on, all of them to a man have said, we just run the plays that are called. Which leads me to ask the follow-up question, what the hell is being called? The past couple years, the excuse that, Seven's arm was shot and he couldn't get the ball down the field and, he was deciding to check it down and that excuse has gone on and retired along with Big Ben. Shout out to Seven. Proud of you, dude. Keep doing what you're doing. But that excuse has gone out the window. So now we have to look internally. You know, Matt Canada. I'm flabbergasted at the play calling, especially over the past year. Okay. Now, last week I was frustrated with it, but you know, a win is the perfect perfume for any type of stench that may be amongst the ball club. But in a loss of this magnitude, we have to have some conversations. And I know a lot of people are going to be screaming, get Kenny Pickett in the game, get Kenny Pickett in the game. I'm going to go on record by saying this and saying this now. The only way that Kenny Pickett is going to see any type of significant time this season is if Mr. Trubisky gets hurt. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not grab our pom-poms and start throwing these fake Kenny parties as if Kenny Pickett is going to just ride in on his white horse and save the day. Mr. Trubisky was made a team captain. He was voted on by his teammates and his peers to lead the team. Therefore, just because he has a subpar game, or just because the passes and the ball isn't going down the field and the offense is lethargic, does not necessarily mean that Mr. Trubisky is going to get yanked and put on the bench. Let's not kid ourselves here. That's not going to happen unless Mr. Trubisky, unfortunately, gets hurt. Okay? Third of all, I listened to Mike Tomlin's press conference yesterday, and he said some things that, again, I put that in the category as coach speak, but ultimately he said the offensive line was taking a step in the right direction. You guys can't see me, but my hand is up because I have questions. When you average 2.3 yards a carry in 2 consecutive games, your offensive line isn't progressing as much as you thought it would. I'm not reading the press clippings. I'm not sitting there listening to the hype train. Mitchell Trubisky, for whatever reason, whether he's scared to take a 7-step drop and put the ball in the middle of the field or whatever, everything that was thrown, everything that was ran was within 15 yards of the line of scrimmage. That was it. So, either one or two things is happening, Coach Tomlin. Either you are protecting your players by lying, or we need to get you the lens crafters because you need glasses. That offensive line has been below the line for an extended period of time. Now, before I go jump off the bridge like everybody else is doing, I do understand that we got some new faces and some new places, and that it takes some time to gel and for the offensive line and the offense in general to gain camaraderie and some traction and get things done from a schematic and from a skill set standpoint. But I will say this. Offensive line, you have to be able to move the man in front of you. We're not, pulling people. We're not combo blocking. C-man, hit man. There should be no reason why, with the talent we have in the backfield and with the talent we have on the outside, that we are next to the bottom of the league in points scored and yards per play. But then people want to sit there and tell me that, Seven, was holding us back. If I closed my eyes and didn't know a damn thing about football, you could have told me that Big Ben was playing quarterback the past 2 weeks. It looked identical. Identical. And the other problem that I'm having is that, let's say we all get our wish and Matt Canada's fired. And I don't want to see a man lose a job, but whatever. Let's say we all get our wish and Matt Canada's fired. We're just going to promote from within. So it's going to be the same thing, just with different pants on it. Coming into this Thursday night game, there's a few things that I want to see. Okay? One, sustainable offense. We have to be able to sustain offense, stay on schedule, don't put ourselves in less than advantageous positions. Sustain offense. Number two, a running game. I need to see Najee Harris average close to 3.5, 4 yards a tote. And three, I need to see points. The past 2 weeks, this Cleveland Browns defense has given up Christmas-type packages to opposing offenses. Joe Flacco is about as old as Jesus himself. Just lit these cats up like a Christmas tree on Sunday. You mean to tell me that we can't do the same thing with better weapons? I need to see some stuff on Thursday night. With that being said, we transition into Thursday night playing a division opponent and the Cleveland Browns on the road. And, you know, they know us, we know them. It's going to come down to a couple things for both sides of the ball. But first of all, we need to stop their running game. We negate Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. We put ourselves in very, very good position to win that ball game. Very good position to win that ball game. Offensively, I said what I said. I'm no longer accepting the excuse that this is a moving train and that trains are, you know, well, we need to get on a moving track and all that other coach speak. I'm no longer subscribing to that. Okay? I'm done subscribing to that. This is supposed to be different. This is supposed to be new. And yet, I'm looking at very, 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 very similar results. It's only by the grace of God that we got out of Cincinnati with a win. And I'll take it. A division opponent on the road, I'll take it. We should be sitting at 2-0 right now. Gunner fumbles a punt. We don't get off the field on third down in critical moments. Mike Tomlin calls it waiting moments. We can't run it. We can't throw it more than 5 yards down the field. We had a 3rd and 8 and threw the ball 4 yards. Like, what in the world is that? With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys' time. God bless. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Sports City, Sports City, chef,